starting now.
The Daily Share, your guide to what you're watching, searching, playing, sharing, shopping, and creating.
Welcome to the Daily Share Pop Edition. I'm Roxy Diaz, and if you like pop culture, well, you're in the right place. This is what's trending right now. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but you know, the celebrity fashionistas, they're under fire. I'm talking about the Olsen Twins. Yes, the Olsen Twins, they have a few different fashion brands underneath them, which have a huge following on Instagram and Twitter. But check this out. 40 current and former interns are suing the Olsens for not being paid. One intern even told the New York Post she had to be hospitalized because she was worked so hard. Now, the parent company for the fashion brands say the claims are groundless. I cannot wait to talk about this. Let's welcome my guest. Criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool is here with me, along with senior editor and writer for E! News, Mark Malkin, and the Daily Share contributor Shira Lazar is with me too. All right, guys, back in my day, we didn't get paid as interns. Things have definitely changed right now. Mark, you and I were talking about this earlier today. I mean, where are the days where Puffy used to make you walk from Times Square to Brooklyn to get cheesecake, and that was before Junior's was even in Midtown, in Times Square?
I just can't believe these interns are complaining about working for the Olsen Twins and their major, you know, fashion empire. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my God, they had to carry trench coats. That's so tough. Oh, in the heat. Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out. Guess what? It's called work. It's called earning your stripes. You know what? Stop complaining, because by the way, you're gonna have a hard time getting a job now complaining about carrying trench coats. Seriously?
If you're like trying to get into the fashion business, I am going to be kissing major twin booty wherever I gotta do to get into this place. But Brian, I have to ask you, do the interns actually have a real case here? Have things changed? Do interns need to be paid?
Well, legally, they do have a potential claim here. So you've really got to parse this out. Legally versus reality. Legally, they probably have a claim if they can prove that the majority of the time that they're working, they are doing things that are remedial. For example, fetching Advil or carrying trench coats in the 100-degree heat. Now, if they're doing that, as opposed, those are personal errands, as opposed to actually, for example, doing something in creative design, then under the federal labor laws, they should be paid because what they're doing is not educational. It's personal in nature. But the reality is, like,
Brian, I have a
yeah, sure, go ahead.
I have a question for you. So with you bringing that point up, and I'm going to my notes right now, because they are being said that some of them were set to do making tech sheets, inputting data into spreadsheets, also running personal errands, organizing materials, photocopying, sewing, cutting pattern. So you think are those grounds for internship? You're learning there. You're learning what it is to be in a fashion house right there.
It's going to be a close call to answer your question. The court's going to have to look at what percentage of the time are these interns spending doing personal errands versus doing what you just described. I would agree with you, is creative in nature. So it's going to be a close call. I don't think their case is going to be thrown out of court. But look, the reality of this case is what you all are talking about. What are these people thinking? Do they want to work 10 years from now in this industry? Get it on your resume and forget about it.
I would never want to hire any of these. I gotta be scared to be like, I want to make sure this isn't too hard for you. You're not going to want to end up in the hospital. I mean,
Shira Lazar, you tell me your internship experience. You were telling me about how the days you were interning at MTV. What did you have to do?
Yes, I was an amazing intern. I would stay up with the associate producer. It was the VMAs. She was there working until like midnight, and I stayed with her because I wanted to see how she worked. And in the end, I wanted to be a team member and help. So help in whatever way I could. Even now, I have employees, and if I see they're tired, I'll be like, let's get you food, let's get you coffee. That's part of being a team. Getting you an Advil so you could do your work better because if you're not feeling well. Anyway.
I used to run the dry cleaner for my boss.
There you go. Hey, Brian, is there a statute of limitation on this? Because I may have a case, because when I was an intern, I feel I worked way too hard.
There might be a statute of limitations, but for you, I'm going to make an exception. I'll help you.
I love it. All right, let's move on, guys. Mark, you know I'm going to you on this one next. TMZ says Lamar Odom surprised his ex-wife, yes, Khloe Kardashian, outside her gym. Now, he demanded to talk to her, but she reportedly freaked out and ran away. But Lamar tells TMZ it's not true. I saw this all over my Twitter feed this morning when I woke up. So witnesses tell TMZ Khloe looked upset. Could she even press any charges if she wanted to? First, Brian, I'm going to ask you, can she press charges? And then, Mark, I want to know what she set up.
Well, I mean, anybody can press charges, but you have to back up those charges. So, I mean, unless she's got the evidence to do that, I'm not sure if these might be deemed to be meritless. But to answer your question, yes, she can. But I think she's got a tough haul ahead.
Mark, was she set up? I mean, what's a reason for Lamar and Khloe to meet up now? And then people are saying that he may have been allegedly under the influence of something.
You know, sources are telling us that Khloe had no idea that he was going to be there. She has no idea how he found out she was there, you know, at this spin class. So I don't think this was any sort of setup. She was shocked that he was there. She obviously got out of there right away. He then went on this rambling I guess, manifesto with one of the paparazzi. It's all very odd. I think, you know, Khloe just really wants to move on. She's hoping Lamar moves on, too. She has said she still loves him. Obviously, she did marry him, but she just wants the best for him, and she just wants him to move on. She wants to move on and just live their separate lives. So this sort of came as a shock to Khloe.
I want to know, what is the holdup with their divorce? It isn't finalized yet. What's going on there, Mark?
The divorce is being finalized. I think the ink is almost dry. I think what happened at the beginning was she couldn't get in touch with Lamar. She wasn't getting any answers from Lamar. At this point, I think the divorce, is almost final. It may even be final, to be honest with you.
Well, let me help Khloe out. Let me help dry that ink right now. Look, we're just drying the ink so that it's over and done with. All right, let's go to our next story so I can get Shira involved here. 3 more women accusing Bill Cosby of acting inappropriately. The women say Cosby sexually harassed them or that he sexually assaulted them. One of the new accusers actually appeared on the Cosby Show. According to People magazine, nearly 50 women have come forward with claims against Cosby. He has always maintained his innocence throughout this whole ordeal. So many accusers out here. Shira, when you heard that there were more accusers out for Bill Cosby, were you surprised when you woke up and saw that trending?
I was not surprised, unfortunately, but yet the stories are just crazy to read. They're very detailed. Gloria Allred held this press conference because she's representing 21 of these women. And, I mean, there's one of a flight attendant and ending up in a hotel room where he's drinking champagne out of her shoe. I mean, this is ridiculous. You can't write this stuff. I mean, it feels fake. It feels like a made-for-TV movie with Bill Cosby. I mean, this is a nightmare for these women, and then I don't even know how he's going to move on after this. He was supposed to have a Netflix show, another network show. That everything's been put obviously to the side. 2 of the women did appear on the Cosby Show. They were mentored by Bill. They talked about bringing the women into a director's room and basically dominating them, and then feeling completely like they had no control over what he was going to do. He just took himself out of his pants and was very forceful. He raped them. I mean, these stories are continuing. They're unbelievable to hear. So
we've all heard some of these stories. You're right. And why hasn't anything been done? Why have there been no charges brought against Bill Cosby yet? Brian, you know I'm going to go to you on that one.
Well, yeah, thank you for giving me credit for being a lawyer. I hope I can answer your question.
Yeah.
In terms of criminal prosecution, there's only one case I see where there's a possibility that Cosby could be prosecuted, and that's in California. Because there's one woman in California who alleges that she was doped by Cosby, and there's a statute in California that says that even if the statute of limitations has been blown, if somebody files a police report within a year after that time period, if an investigation is conducted and there is evidence that implicates Cosby, that he can be prosecuted. So there's hope for one case. But I've got to ask all of you, what really is the end run here with all of these women coming forward? Can he be prosecuted by with any of these other women? Probably not. And is there a statute of limitations that might have been blown in the civil cases? So I don't really know what the point is for everybody coming out now with this.
Well, I think that every woman, if you're under, if you
Yeah.
ever had a situation like that, if you've ever been in that situation where you feel that you were sexually assaulted or harassed or in any way, then as a woman, you have the right to come forward, regardless of a statute of limitation.
I'm not
saying
they shouldn't come forward.
So,
I'm not saying they shouldn't come forward, but here's the question I have. I'm not doubting it didn't happen to them, but why haven't any of these women come forward before, though? It almost seems like
because of fear. There's
because he's a
obviously
powerhouse. You're scared. You don't know. You don't know if people are going to listen to you. There have been many women that have gone on the record saying that Bill Cosby has done lewd acts to them, and police and investigators did not want to listen because he was Bill Cosby, because he was a powerhouse.
Yeah, and also they
Needless
felt threatened. They felt threatened.
Exactly, exactly. It's kind of hard when you have the castle against everybody, against you. You have a big powerhouse against you. But you know what? I want to thank my panel right now. We're going to come back with them. We have a lot more coming up on The Daily Show. We have to talk with pop activist, songwriter, and everyone's favorite pop culture